So after quite a lot of drama, the UK now has a new prime minister who may bring in a new era of crypto friendliness or not. Let's find out with our next guest, Kene Ezeji-Okoye, co-founder and president of Millicent. Welcome back to the show, Kene.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks for having me back. Great to be here.
So let's just start with this big question, which is, big changes in the UK. And what does this mean for crypto, in your opinion?
Very hopeful that it's a good thing. I mean, Rishi Sunak is inheriting a bit of a mess, but he was the chancellor for 2 years throughout COVID. That was a tough time. He got us through that, but that's also 2 years where lobbying bodies like Crypto UK had a chance to educate him to the upside. And that, before he resigned to bring down Boris Johnson's cabinet, was something that he seemed to take to heart and to be ready to adopt wholeheartedly.
So you are positioned in a very interesting place, because I remember last time you were on the show, we talked a little bit about your efforts to develop a central bank digital currency for the UK. You're sort of charged with this mission. What does this mean for your plans, and how is that going?
So in Millicent, we're in an interesting position. We got awarded a government grant to develop rails that could be used for a CBDC, but that means they also could be used for private stablecoins, etc. So we know that Rishi Sunak is pro-CBDC. Emily, I know that that's not really your cup of tea. We have yet to see where we'll go. We are seeing here in the UK a lot of calls for firms to develop prototypes for the Bank of England, for the Treasury, etc. So things do seem to be moving along in that regard as well.
And what sort of indication did Prime Minister Sunak give when he was Chancellor that he would be, but do we have any sense of how he would govern when it comes to crypto, how his government would behave towards crypto? Do you think that even though he himself might know a lot more than, say, Johnson or Truss did, nonetheless, do you think that he would even be involved in that, or would he leave it up to his chancellor to have sort of leeway and decide how crypto should be regulated?
I would imagine that given the economic climate here in Europe and Britain specifically, that Rishi Sunak will be working very closely with his chancellor. And I would imagine that chancellor would also be fairly pro-crypto, given that Rishi Sunak styles himself as a Thatcherite. And Thatcher, of course, inherited the UK when it was known as the sick man of Europe with 14% inflation. She made a series of tough decisions that were very divisive, but by the mid-'80s, she deregulated the financial markets, and we saw the Big Bang, which put the City of London on par with New York. And I think that Rishi is going to try and do that again here in the UK. He recognizes that crypto is a once in a multi-generational opportunity, and I don't think he's going to waste it. I think we're going to see the financial markets bill that was authored under him and submitted shortly after he left does speak to crypto and to giving wider powers to the Treasury and therefore the Chancellor to make sure that these kind of initiatives get through the regulators.
So, Kene, do you think that Rishi Sunak is indeed crypto-friendly? And he's expressed interest as far as he was a finance minister in making the UK a crypto hub. And what would that look like?
It's tough to say exactly what that would look like. In our discussions with the regulators, they've been very open to hearing from members of the public, and we've seen the Financial Conduct Authority run crypto sprints where the relevant stakeholders in the industry come and deal directly with the FCA members. And they held an innovation day back in July, and it's really been a great two-way dialogue between the regulators and the industry. Insofar as making the UK a global crypto hub, I think what PM Sunak means by that is that he wants regulation to give people the clarity and the confidence to want to build their businesses here in the UK and invest in UK crypto businesses for the long term, because it is a friendly pace to build those businesses.
Mm-hmm. And so in terms of being crypto-friendly, would that be crypto-friendly toward concepts like DeFi with private stablecoins, or do you think it would be more in the direction of like a UK digital pound or something like that?
I think we'll see advances in both. I think a UK digital pound is probably 4 or 5 years away before it sees the light of day. But I do know that stablecoin regulation is definitely a hot topic. It's mentioned explicitly in the Financial Market Services Bill. So we will see private stablecoins regulated here in the UK sooner rather than later. In terms of DeFi, we need to see again what's going to happen. The FCA, when they brought on the AML laws in 2020, were derided somewhat for taking a long time to make their decisions. Some good companies left the UK to elsewhere, but we also saw companies like Celsius not be able to obtain a license, and that probably saved a lot of Brits their money. So the UK is going to be pragmatic and try and balance innovation with consumer safeguards.